from radiating your light, from doing your purpose in the world, from shining, right? Because it knows that if you have more money and you're a heart-led soulpreneur, you want to do that. You're going to do that more. Your ego just wants to hold you back and keep you safe and keep you with like £2 in your bank account or something, you know? So this is the thing. I'm not always aligned with what I'm doing. Sometimes I'm doing something and I'm still questioning if it's the right thing. I ask for signs. Hello, Michelle. Nice to have you here. I ask for signs when I'm in a funk. I will regularly go in looking for people who inspire me, all right? I go looking for them on YouTube. I'll go looking for podcasts. I'll go looking for through YouTube channels. I am not just sitting and getting stuck in my thinking around, oh, maybe this is the right thing, maybe it's not, oh crap, this isn't working or whatever. I don't do that. I go and I change my perspective, right? And even in a moment, if I'm finding that tricky, I'm always doing something to shift it, not to ignore it. I'm not ignoring it. I'm not talking about that. I'm not saying that you ignore the voices that are speaking to you, that are saying you can't have that relationship, or you can't create money, or you can't get that promotion, or whatever it is. I'm not saying you ignore it. I'm saying you listen to it, you let it have its little piece, but you just make sure it's a little piece, that it's not taking up all of your day. Let yourself cry. Let yourself feel the fear. Acknowledge it. Actually, acknowledging it makes it kind of disappear more quickly because you've let it speak, you know? I'm always talking about the inner child kind of pulling at your coat and saying, oh, pick me up, I'm scared, or look at me, I need to tell you something, right? So your inner child's gonna do that. And we have to let that be okay, you know? Another analogy that I've used is you let your inner child be in the back seat of your car, and the neurotic ego, which is like a teenager, can be in the other seat in the back of the car, and your grumpy old inner critic of a parent can sit in the passenger seat, and you get to drive your car. They can complain, they can wail, they can say they need water, they can say they need the toilet, or they want a pack of sweets. It can say anything, but you are still driving your car. And in this analogy, your heart, your soul, is driving your car towards your final destination, which is that of an abundant, spiritually led life, right? Let's stop having all these spiritually led people who are struggling with cash. How many people do you know out there who are doing spiritual work who are struggling with cash? Can we stop that dynamic, please? All right? I want to help you stop that dynamic. I want to turn this around. Let's stop doing that. Who wants to live that life? Nobody who's here watching, who's spiritually led, who's heart led, who has a bigger purpose in the world, deserves to be sitting in lack. The heart led warriors need to unite and step up. We have to step forward. We have to stop looking at spiritual work as a place where we just give it all away and we don't ever receive. Who taught us that? Who do you think taught us that? Who taught us that, people? We've been taught that so that we are held back. And I'm telling you now that all the rest of the bullshit about having to constantly stay in alignment and not be human, it's another way to hold you back. It's another way to hold you back from your abundance. It's not true. It's not true. It's not fucking true. Get passionate and then I swear. It's not true. You can be an abundant person and be going through grief because someone close to you died, right? You can be an abundant person and you can be going through a divorce or a breakup. You could be an abundant person and suddenly lose your business, right? Maybe you have a dodgy business partner who screws you over, right? You could be abundant and be that. You can. The difference is that I look at it this way. Sometimes when those things happen, Your soul is asking you to recognize something else. It's asking you to up level in something else, right? It's asking you to learn about something else. It's asking you to become humble. Perhaps your ego has gotten in the way, right? It's asking you to realign, check yourself. Check yourself, like, is this really the path you want to be on? Maybe your soul knows that your path is not where you're trying to create money. How many of you here are trying to run businesses that don't seem to be working? Some of it might be your mindset. Maybe your focus is where you're here, your focus is here and it's not in the body. Maybe you haven't done enough work on yourself to feel your guidance. But maybe you're also trying to create a business because you're looking at lack in your world. Are you trying to create a business where it's about the money? This work for me is never about the money. No, that's not true. Not is never about the money. But what I'm trying to say is it's not about the money because I did it anyway, right? I want this to be my career. I choose it as my career because it fills me up with so much joy to help people, right? Yes, I want money in my life to help me do this business more. But what I'm saying is it's not about the money because I do it anyway. I would do this even if I didn't get paid for it. I actually can't help myself. I can't help myself. Even when I'm out with my friends, if something's going on, which regularly falls out of their mouths, I always want to help and I always do, right? I can't help that. It's a natural part of me. What would you do even if you didn't get paid for it? Because if you're trying to run a business because you're trying to make money, you're not really going to make that much money if it's not aligned with something deeper inside of you, connecting to the heart and the soul. Again, that head-led thing. So that's another thing to think about, right? But you don't have to be a robot in order to generate money. You don't have to be a person who's not experiencing grief or a breakup or having a new baby where you're completely stressed, right? It's not about that. It's about you doing the clearing work first. You connecting to your inner child, you understanding what your soul voice is telling you, and then stepping forward in incremental steps, learning about your money blueprint, stripping back the conditioning of that. All right? Stop taking on the fact that your mum didn't make money or your dad didn't make money or your dad said it was hard work and you have to work 15 hours a day. All right? Boom moment. I like that, Michelle. So yeah, they're like, let's stop doing that. You don't have to do that anymore. Right? And so if you're a person who is ready, and I'm sure you are if you're here and listening to this, and you're fed up and you feel that feeling of, I'm fed up, I don't understand where I'm going wrong, let's just take the wrong away and let's just say it's actually about where you have your focus. It's actually about where you have, the programming. It's looking at the conditioning, it's stripping it back, right? It's doing the thing that you really want to do, right? Or even maybe not the thing you really want to do. I manifested money before and a thing I really didn't want to do. And it didn't pan out in the end because I wasn't fully listening to all the parts of me. So there's another little bit I'll be talking about on the Money Blocks workshop, because I was trying to make something happen. I was desperately trying to make something happen. And the money was manifested so easily because a part of me was like in alignment with it. The other part was like, my soul self was like, no, honey, you're not going that way. You might want to go that way. And you did well to manifest it, but you're not going that way. So, it didn't pan out the way I thought, So we have to keep listening to the bigger parts of ourselves. And when we go into fear or lack, is to recognize that our human is having trouble. And we have to know ourselves enough, deeply enough, to trust the intuitive guidance, to trust what's happening. Sometimes when that stuff is happening, it's happening to show you something that you're missing. You might not be fully on track. You might have to turn slightly, right? You might have to learn something, right? You might have to learn humility. You might have to learn something else. But it doesn't mean that you are failing and that you have to be some spiritually aligned guru in order to make the money in your life, okay? Look at Donald Trump. He ain't spiritually aligned, but he's aligned with money. You know, he can still generate it. He loses it a lot as well, which is another thing I'll talk about, right? He loses it a lot too. So you don't have to be some guru in order to be aligned with money, and you can make more money as a heart-led warrior, right? So if you want to join my Money Blocks Blueprint workshop, which is going to be awesome, by the way, because we're going to do lots of clearing. There might be some crying, but there will definitely be some cheering. Oh, that rhymed. All right. Then let me know. I've got 5 places left and I would love to have you with us. Okay. We're running it on Saturday the 30th and we will be doing it over 4 hours. We might do 5, right? But you're going to have breaks. So don't worry about it, right? But the reason we're doing it this way is because I want to give you everything that I know, the most value. I want to get us from clearing the blocks and stepping into your fullest version of you, like visualizing that version of you and really starting to create a resonance of abundance in your body. I'm going to help you to step through that fear and find the next steps in creating more money in your life, because you can. You can do it. You can do it online. You can do it at work. You can do it by creating something new. You can. Okay? Reverse the requirement for money. Wow, spot on. Yes, Kathleen. So, anybody who is struggling with money blocks, okay, then get on this workshop. And I will say what I said the last time. If you are a person who is always holding on to money and you're always terrified to spend it, you are never going to create the abundance that you deserve. And I really, really mean that. Okay? Let's take the analogy of someone on the street. All right? Someone who's homeless on the street. They're begging for money. All right? Now, I know there are some people who give their money away, but generally when you're at that lowest point, you are holding on to all the pennies that you can grab. You're holding on to money. And what happens is there's no flow of money, and money needs flow. I'll be talking more about this on the workshop also. It needs masculine and feminine energy, receptive, open, feminine energy. And it also needs masculine energy, which is willing to put money into your growth. So if you're not willing to even put a small amount of money into learning this stuff, right, you're not going to be able to generate more. That's how it works. It has to be like a flow. It has to be a flow of energy. Okay? Money is neutral. We are the generators. We are the battery. But you need positive and negative, masculine and feminine. Otherwise, it doesn't flow. Otherwise, you will either constantly be dishing it out, or when it comes in, it will just disappear. Because there's no flow. It doesn't work that way, or it can't get to you, is really what I mean. It's like a block. Can't receive, shuts it off. So don't be that person. This is a tiny investment. It's tiny. It's £97. Normally to work with me on an hour on this, it'd be 150. And the last one I did, we took 2 hours. 2 hours to go through the whole thing. So it's a tiny investment for 4 hours of doing way more work on this. So message me and I will be back again talking about more about abundance and some other things to share with you about the inner child. All right, loves, I shall speak to you soon. Bye for now. Mwah.